In this video, I'm going to show you my process for drawing a really simple fantasy village map. For this map, all I'm using is a pencil, an eraser, some plain white printer paper, and a size 5 micron pen. But really, any solid black pen will do the trick. I always start my maps with a key. I made a little list of the main features that my village will have, houses and a shrine, bridges, a waterfall, all that kind of stuff. And I like to spend some time on a separate sheet of paper figuring out how each of these icons are gonna look when they're drawn on a bigger map. This step adds a little bit of time, but drawing the individual icons separately really helps take the pressure off when it's time to draw the actual map and combine all of the icons together. Now the map I'm going to be drawing is of Barrowmere, a small brick-making village south of Dragontown, and this is for a one-shot postcard stretch goal that just got unlocked on Kickstarter, but more on that later. As you can see, I'm figuring out how the houses and the bridges and the mud is going to look. Now, I've drawn a bunch of maps in my time, so I'm knocking this out rather quickly. Usually, I would be, scratching things out and trying again and again, because the great thing about doing this on a separate sheet of paper is that if you mess up one of the icons, you can just try again. When you focus on one icon at a time, it's easy to experiment and try different things. And because each little drawing takes less than a minute, you can build up an entire library of icons to use in a really short amount of time. Now that I know how to draw each icon that's going on this map, I'm going to get out a new sheet of paper and start planning out where everything goes in pencil. This step is super fun because I get to really start thinking about the story of this village. So Barrowmere is built where the Ebon Crown River spills out into the Troll Bog, and for this map, and really this adventure, it's more about showing the landscape of the area than it is about where each of the individual buildings are located, on what street in relation to each other. It's going to be kind of an abstract style map. So the main feature of this village is the river, and then the bridges that connect the little islands, plus these two brick farms, or maybe they're like clay farms. I don't know what they farm the clay and make bricks. I don't know, whatever. So the mystery of this adventure is that the town has been put to sleep, like a magical sleep, and all the bricks have gone missing. And you can see as I'm planning out in pencil here, I'm not getting too caught up in drawing every little detail. I've drawn a lot of the buildings just to make sure they all kind of fit, but I'm not illustrating every single tree. I'm not filling in all of the clay fields with the little squiggly, bumpy lines. And that's because I've already drawn each of the icons on the separate key sheet of paper, so I don't need to fully render out every little thing. Of course, if you feel more comfortable drawing the entire map in pencil before you start inking, that totally works. Whatever you feel the most comfortable with. But for me, once I get everything planned in pencil to the level that I'm good to go on, then I can jump in with the micron and start inking. So usually I start with the main geographical locations, the shore and the river, but since the buildings kind of overlap the outlines of the little islands, I'm going to start with those first. I'm just illustrating each of the little icons one by one, and wherever I want the lines to be a little thicker, a little bolder, I'm just going over the line a second time. And I don't mind that the lines look a little chunky and uneven. It kind of fits with the theme of this mud and clay filled village, right? If I'm being honest, it probably would have been easier and maybe better looking if I would have just used a size 8, a little bit bigger of a micron for the thicker outlines, and then gone down to the size 5 or even a size 3 for the details. Having a little bit of variety, using thicker or bolder lines and spots that you want the viewer's attention, is just kind of a neat little trick to help the composition of your maps. Now, the other thing I really enjoyed about making this map was doing this world building stuff that I'm talking about. Even though this is a very abstract and simplified version of a village, it's fun to think about it as a real place. As I was writing this one-shot adventure, I thought about these two rival brick makers, one to the north, one to the south of the river. I think they have a long-standing feud, but maybe once the players start investigating why everyone's falling fallen asleep, they maybe could be on the way to settling this feud. And then there's the more practical side of things, because this village is where a bunch of people are going to be stomping around in a bunch of clay. I thought it'd be fun to add some specific buildings that really make sense. There's a bathhouse near the waterfall where everyone goes to rinse off, and there's a shrine to Current, who is the goddess of rain and water in my world, in a place where people are trying to make the best bricks possible. They need the best clay, and that means having just the right amount of moisture. So they're going to be making sure that their water deity is chill at all times. So yeah, I'm having a great time making this fun little postcard adventure. And this is actually one of the stretch goals that got unlocked for my new book and box set called Dragontown in the Darkness Below. When this video comes out, there's still a few days left on the Kickstarter campaign. I'm just really proud of this Dragontown adventure. This book has tons of maps in it, similar to the one I'm making here. So each of the 12 chapters is a unique location with its own map. This book also works as a big, epic campaign-length adventure as well. I really hope you check it out. The link to the Kickstarter is down in the description. Okay, so I'm bouncing around this map, just inking whatever caught my interest in the moment, then moving on to the next icon. Right now I'm drawing these trees, and I forgot to add these to the key, but these are my favorite types of trees to draw. Little round cloud squiggles with just 2 sticks for the trunk. Super easy, super fun. They kind of stack up and overlap each other in a really fun, nice, pleasing way. And hopefully you can see how drawing each icon individually is actually really simple. But once you fill up the entire page with a bunch of icons, the map illustration becomes more complicated and interesting to look at. None of the individual parts are complicated, but a cool story can unfold just by combining 10 or so simple little icons and repeating them here and there. And if you ask me, that's pretty stinking rad. Okay, I'm erasing the pencil lines, and you might notice that I haven't inked any of the roads that connect all of these places, and I'm gonna add these back in as a gray layer in Photoshop. You could totally just draw parallel lines or even use a gray marker, whatever works for the map that you're making. Just remember to test it out on the key on that separate sheet of paper first. And here is the village of Barrowmere. I'm so glad that this stretch goal got unlocked, because I think this is gonna make a really cool little postcard adventure. The map will go on one side, and the writing of everything you need to know to run the adventure will go on the other. Really, I just hope this video inspires you to try drawing your own village map. It's fun to come up with some world building on a smaller scale, like a village, and then knock out a map rather quickly. It doesn't have to be a big crazy city with tons of buildings to have a lot of fun stuff going on. And I think the same goes for a cool map, right? 8 to 10 icons, some repeated, some unique, is all you really need. So have fun drawing a village map, and if you're looking for a fun, whimsical, but dangerous adventure to run for your favorite fantasy tabletop role-playing game, definitely check out Dragontown in the Darkness Below on Kickstarter. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!